Hey everybody, so today we're going to be talking about something that absolutely fires me up, something I cannot shut up about ever. It's culture, but not just culture, personal culture, how you grow as a person from when you meet different cultures, different people, and you learn about different people. You learn about new ways of life, new morals, new ways of thought, new foods, new customs, new traditions, just everything bundled into one. So this kind of ties into travel, definitely ties into travel, and also kind of ties into anthropology and studying other people. So, guys, before we go into anything here, I'd like to kind of talk a little bit more about who I am, my background. So, going into high school, my first day of freshman year, I walk into second period Spanish with Miss Cerna at Seven Lakes. And I walked in like a kid walking into a candy shop. My eyes were like this. I was ecstatic to learn a new language. I was ecstatic for something learning a new language is like having doors open for you that you didn't even realize were there because there are things that you didn't even realize, things you didn't even have a knowledge that existed. And so that's a beautiful thing. Anyways, so 2 years in, I could speak it at work. I could use it conversationally. I could speak Spanish pretty well. After 3 years, I was fluent. And so what happened in my third year is something that we'll talk about in a later episode or video, about immersion. So what ended up happening is I started engaging with Spanish media, right? Be it movies, TV shows, music, literature, etc. And so I started watching Spanish TV shows, or TV shows in Spanish, I should say, and listening to Spanish music, reggaeton, trap, some bachata, like everything, right? And as I started doing those things, I started becoming way, way, way more proficient to a point where I became fluent. And I mean, for like a brief context there, I didn't listen to any new music pretty much from 2015 till about the spring of 2017, because I'm a huge rap and hip hop guy, but I didn't like where rap slash hip hop was going at the time, and I didn't like the new music coming out. I still don't like the new music coming out, and pretty much since spring of 2017, I've been listening to mostly Spanish music with a touch of things from a lot of different areas, generations, and times. Um, but like back then, I remember the first song that really put me on Spanish music was Si tu novio te deja sola with J Balvin and Bad Bunny. And that's where I fell in love with Bad Bunny, and I started listening to more and more of his music, which opened me up to more and more other artists and other music, and different artists from different countries, which also helps you learn better. But it's also just different styles of music. And now it's my favorite genre. I think all top five of my favorite Spotify artists for like the last 3 4 years have been Spanish artists, and it's part of who I am now. And we'll talk about this a little bit in the video. Is as you immerse yourself in things and you learn these things bit by bit, as you make them part of your life, as you make them things that are daily for you, or things that are very like in your life, it becomes part of who you are. And we'll talk all about that in a little bit. So, guys, before we dive into this, there is something that I have to say. And this is something that I want to address one time and one time only, because it's extremely frustrating. And it honestly, it just comes from pure ignorance and probably a bit of jealousy as well. It has to do with cultural appropriation. Okay. So back in high school, I used to get a lot of, oh, you're a wannabe Latino. You wish you weren't white. You're trying to be something that you're not, blah, 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 blah. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. Flash forward to earlier last semester, or I guess fall semester of my sophomore year of college. So I'm a cultural coordinator at my dorm college, Jones, which at Rice we call our residential halls, our dorms, we call them colleges. And so the people at Jones are called Jonesians. And so my job as cultural coordinator would suggest is to put on cultural events, teach fellow Jonesians about cultures, sponsor cultural or tickets to cultural activities and experiences, that sort of thing. And I had someone personally attack me on like my base character level and just insult me very blatantly and basically accuse me of a lot of nasty things. Someone who didn't even know who I was, didn't even I had never even met this person, and they came at me with a vehement force and barrage of insults and personal attacks. And honestly, it was ridiculous to me because I'm like, well, first of all, if nothing else, I'm doing these events in my capacity as a cultural coordinator. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible, but so obviously cultural appropriation is a horrible thing. It's usually done to mock other cultures. It's usually done with bad intentions, and it's usually due to pure ignorance, okay? Three things right there. The fine line between cultural and anthropological knowledge and cultural appropriation is the truth, okay? If what you're talking about, if what you embody is true, real, and factual, there is no cultural appropriation. Anything that you do in life, any new thing that you start doing in life that becomes a part of your life, becomes a part of who you are. And it's the same thing with learning about another culture, learning about new ways to think, new ways of life, new foods, new traditions, new customs. It's the same exact thing as with anything in life. If you don't have ever played basketball in your life, you pick up a basketball and you absolutely love it. You play basketball 5 times a week at least. You love it. You play in these leagues. You play with your friends. You play with your family. It's something that you talk about. It's something that you love. It becomes part of your life. It is part of your life. And it becomes part of who you are as an individual. It's the same thing with culture. So, personal cultural identity. It's a beautiful thing. I'm going to give you guys a personal example for me. So, I'm originally from New York, and my mom is born in Serbia, and she moved here when she was about 11, 12 years old. And my dad is American born with British and Italian bloodlines, okay? So I come from my native culture is that of a New Yorker, first generation Serbian, and American guy with British and Italian heritage, okay? Flash forward about, I guess flash back to about 11, 12 years ago. My family and I, we moved down to Texas, which was a huge cultural change to me. I mean, people down in Texas are extremely friendly. They're always willing to help out a stranger, generally always got a smile on their face. People here, we talk about Southern hospitality, it's a thing. And it was something that I had never experienced before. And once I got down here and learned about, Southern hospitality, being very polite, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, which was something I never said in New York. Learning those things, I was like, wow, this is way better to me. Like this resonates more with what I enjoy in life and what I want to be. And so, as I grew up in here in Texas, I started becoming more and more Texan, right? And it just happens with what you surround yourself with what you learn, with what you experience, right? So the same thing occurs when you learn about people that are, foreign. I hate that word sometimes, but when you learn about foreign peoples, people that aren't native to you, learn about cultures that aren't native to you, when you experience things that are not native to you. So I guess the best example that I can give you guys is from when I went to Argentina my first time. So here in America, people drink coffee, right? America runs on Dunkin', quote, I hope I don't get trademarked for it. But here, America runs on coffee, right? You hear a lot of people say, oh, I can't make it through my day without 6 cups of coffee, which to me is absolutely mind-boggling and unfathomable because to me personally, I don't need much sleep at all, and I always have a lot of energy no matter what. So me personally, I can't get it, but regardless of that fact, America runs on coffee, right? And caffeine. So I go down to Argentina, and the first day there, my friend offers me some mate, which is a traditional Argentinian hot beverage served in a cup bowl called a gourd. I'm just going to call it a bowl because gourd just doesn't sound appealing. So it's in this bowl. You put these herbs in it called yerba mate, and there's all different types of yerbas, which are herbs in Spanish. You put this yerba mate in, you drink, and there's a filtered straw in it, and you drink the hot liquid, or you pour hot water in it, sorry, and you drink the hot liquid through a filtered straw. It, I mean, there's caffeine in it, but it's not the same type of caffeine as coffee. There's no crash associated with it. It hydrates your body and your muscles. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. It's actually uncanny, especially when you drink it out in the cold. And it's just leagues better than coffee, right? And so this is something that they drink in Argentina. I don't want to say daily, but pretty much daily. They drink it year round, whether it's 110 degrees outside or whether it's 40 degrees outside. They drink it no matter what. It's To me, it was kind of strange. The first time I went down there, it was their summer, and we're up. It's 105 degrees outside. The sun is beating down, and we're out here drinking a hot beverage. But that's what you do. It's a very communal thing, especially with friends and family. Is you guys share a mate when you guys hang out, or while you're sitting around a table talking, playing cards, whatever. Which will bring me to another topic that I'm not going to dive into, called a game called Truco, which is my personal favorite card game that I've ever played in my life. We'll talk about that in a later episode. But so yeah, and as I learned about mate, I mean now I have about 3, 4 mate cups in my house, or bowls, whatever you want to call them. I have 3 or 4 of them. I have 2 pounds of yerba mate in my pantry. I drink it not every day because I don't need all that caffeine, but it's something that I drink for pleasure and I drink it often. I love it. And so before I had traveled to Argentina and met my Argentinian friends, I didn't know about this thing, right? All I knew was coffee and tea. And I love tea. Don't get me wrong. I love tea. But mate is just something new and something awesome that is better than coffee, right? So I found this thing. So in my personal native culture, coffee is, king. Well, I tried something new. I went down to somewhere new. I met new people. I tried something, a new experience. Well, now I found something that resonates better with me. I like mate better than I like coffee. So I'm going to drink mate. I'm going to take that just like this, and I'm going to put it in my personal cultural identity box. Like this is going to be part, it becomes part of who you are as you learn about new people and you have these new ways of thought, these new ways of life, these new ways of viewing things, these new perceptions on life, friends, families, work, travel, anything. It becomes part of who you are because it becomes part of your life. So naturally, it becomes part of who you are. There's no wanna be this, wanna be that. The simple fact of the matter is, I love mate. So for me, in my personal cultural experience, mate is a part of who I am because I love it. Truco, the card game, a part of who I am, a part of what I love, part of what's in my life. Argentina style food. In my opinion, Argentinian empanadas are delicious and amazing. So no discussion on empanadas because empanadas is a heated debate. But anyways, it's part of who I am now because it's something that resonated more with me. So I continued to put it in my life once I left those places. And so that's the beautiful thing about it is you start to learn and meet these new things that make your life better on a personal level because you're finding things, ways of life, lifestyles, I guess you could even call it. You definitely call it lifestyles even. You're finding new ways to live that are better to you, that resonate more with you in your brain and in your heart. Things that you personally like better, you gain more pleasure from. Things that you love, things that you become passionate about. It becomes part of who you are. And so, in short, that is the beauty of personal cultural identity and traveling. As you meet new people, you learn new ways of life, traditions, customs, etc., and you take bits and pieces of that, and it becomes part of who you are because you make those things part of your life. And to me, that's one of the most beautiful things in life. So, so guys, in short, personal cultural identity is a beautiful thing. Travel is a very rewarding experience. Learning anything is a rewarding experience. But honestly, you guys have heard the term, oh, that person is a citizen of the world. That's quite literally what this is. As you go and you pick up piece by piece by piece from all the different places that you visit, you bring them home with you. You share them with friends and family. And so that's a great thing, obviously, because you're teaching people about it. But also, it's enriching to you and it's more pleasurable to you in life. And then the last thing is, as a society and as a global population, everyone would benefit from this, literally everyone. Because as you learn about new cultures, you respect other cultures, you appreciate them, you appreciate their issues, you understand conflicts, you understand struggles, and it makes everybody more compassionate and more understanding. So overall, it's just benefits, 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 benefits. It's a great thing. And honestly, I've only been doing this in my life for about the last 3, 4 years. I guess it started at the beginning of high school, so I guess now 6 years. But in terms of how much I've been deeply, deeply rooted in this, it's been about 4 years. Anyways, regardless, in just those 3, 4 years' time, my mind, my views on life, my perception on things have changed in quite literally every way, and in every way for the better. Because they always say that diversity of thought, diversity of like a workforce is a great thing. It's the exact same thing in your personal cultural identity and in your life. As you meet new things and you diversify your thoughts and your experiences, your life becomes better. And as a whole, as we diversify our thoughts and experiences, we as a whole become better. So that's it, guys. Thanks for checking out this video. Next video we'll be talking about will be with language acquisition. I spoke earlier about using media to really help propel you forward in your path to fluency and efficiency or proficiency, excuse me, in a language. So we'll be talking about that next week. All right. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe. I guess I can't believe I've actually made it to the point where I'm saying that. Always watching YouTubers say that. But like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, because we're here to learn.